Hi, everyone. This is Dolly, who is an engineer and a founder of Smart Edge. She also owns a consultancy and e-services firm, which is called as SPH Consultancy and E-Services Private Limited. And, uh, and I am Dr. Ritu Dave, who is a super specialist in critical care and remote telemedicine. So Dolly is my childhood friend, and we have put together a chat um, on her special day, that is her birthday today. So let's join in wishing her a happy birthday while we listen to this chat. So Dolly, I know you are a generally happy-go-lucky person, but what really makes you happy? Why don't you share with us what really makes you happy?
There are three things, not just one. One is discovery of new places, new experiences that I really try to explore new heritage and culture wherever I go. Try local food, local delicacies. The second important this thing is more into transforming lives, whether it is in terms of people or whether it is in terms of the service delivery or in terms of businesses. This is what makes me the happiest, and I've tried to work with many people, as well as I've tried to work very with different kind of services businesses. So my company stands for that as a testimony. And uh, right now, my major focus has been in terms of really seeing how do we really empower the women and youth. Uh, and Over the last almost 10 years, I have reached about, been able to empower something close to about 79,000 youth and women in the process. So that's what makes me happy, and I do it purely out of my own self will. Sometimes it is paid, sometimes it's unpaid, but that's a passion that I drives me.
Wow, 79,000. That's a big number.
Yeah, this weekend I
Congratulations
think
to you.
by this weekend I'll cover 80,000 because I'm doing another
Awesome, awesome.
woman event later this week, Saturday, and I hope to really have more than about 200 odd women in that.
Great, great, Dolly. I'm so impressed. So, so while you're doing all this and enjoying yourself, who actually is the inspiration for you? Uh, can you tell us?
So my biggest inspiration had been my late father, Engineer Y. Sardalia, and I learned from him something that I always is my main reason for working is that you have to solve the problems. You don't become a part of the problem. Try to find solutions to the problem. If you can't solve the problem, there's no point cribbing around it. And so you can't solve all the problems, but take one or two problems and try to see if you can solve them. So this is what has inspired me to do whatever I'm doing. I chose some areas and I made sure that I'm able to really do justice to it. That's what really makes me. The other thing that I'm also highly inspired by challenges. So something that nobody else has done. So that's something that really interests me most. That's what inspires me most to do something in which I can actually show results where nobody else has been able to. And I take a lot of pride that 20 new technologies I brought to India. I worked on creating brands which were uh, and completely unknown, took them global, worked with students, took them global, and so many of these this thing we don't talk about it. I actually don't brag too much about it, but I think the impact you can see. I mean, if people really follow me, some of the people who have followed me have given me awards from US, from UK, from other countries. Maybe in India, I haven't been very vocal to really. Nobody has been talking about what I have been doing, but yes, and I believe in Indian values and leveraging the new technology. So whenever there is a new technology, I really look at it and see how I could really use this technology to really shape something better. So these are the three major areas that inspire me in terms of.
Great, Dolly. So, who is your favorite person? I know your inspiration is your dad, but who is your most favorite person?
My favorite person is undoubtedly my elder brother, uh, K.S. Serdalia, Kushwant as we know him. And so, whatever I do, whatever I think, I uh, seek his help and guidance, and it's always there. Uh, I try to really follow his style of working, but anyway, he is too good to really be copied. But yes, that's as a person, we bond very well with each other, being very close. We are just 1 year apart in age, and uh, we don't get enough time now that we are both too busy, but their own work. But yes, he's the one who really inspires me most. He's my most
Great.
favorite
Yes, I
person.
remember Kushwant. He is a terrific guy. Definitely. Yep. Let's move on to the next question. So I'm sure you're quite an avid reader. I remember from childhood you used to like to read. Can you share with us what are your favorite books, be it fiction, be it any other,
Yeah. So
subject?
I was a very avid fiction reader, but now I don't really kind of spend too much of time because more involved in actually in the business side of it. So my current business favorite books are on services marketing and management by objectives. These are the two hallmark books that I use for my work, as well as in whatever I have been doing. These are some of the, and the best part is that Parshuraman services marketing book is by him. The company that I started off, the basis of the company is to improve the service delivery, and uh, I started reading about this, uh, and I was very. It was it really came to a shock to me that the entire world uh, follows. He's considered to be the father of services. So he's set up the service quality benchmark for survival, and he's an Indian, and nobody in India really recognizes him. Nobody in India has ever really kind of given him the right kind of. And I was very fortunate to meet him in person 2 years back when he was in India. So this is one book that is like a Bible to me. I have it on my desk, and I use it almost for most of the activities. Also, Management by Objectives, Peter Drucker. That's another book that has been one of my favorite in terms of understanding the management practices and how do we really manage by objectives, not by just sheer financial acumen and so on. In terms of fiction, I started reading Ayn Rand. In fact, it was a book borrowed from you only. Both Fountainhead and Ayn Rand. I remember saw it on your shelf and I read it, and I think I'm deeply inspired by the way uh, you really try to find the connection between people and how do we uh, so very strong impact it had on my so these
Yeah,
are
it's a
the
powerful book.
very
Yeah.
powerful book, and it actually kind of inspires you to. do much more than what you are doing, and this is what uh, is the kind of book that I feel more inclined to read and uh, work with. So it's not just reading a book for sake of reading a book, but there has to be some outcome that you really achieve out of it.
Sure. So, what other hobbies do you have, Dolly? I know you like to read, and then what else?
So travel is my biggest hobby. So I don't get enough time because of my health challenges, as well as the kind of work that I do. But the work also takes me to a lot of places, and I try to find time to really travel wherever I go, even for business, and take out a day or two. So I remember I went to uh, UK to attend a conference, and I uh, took 2 additional days to really see Edinburgh. So uh, just to make sure that I at least experience that. I probably would never be able to go there again, but yes, that. So wherever I have an opportunity to go on business trips, also I try to really see if I can uh, take my hobby along also. uh, very fond of computer games, Word, Sudoku. My day begins with it and ends with it. So that's my biggest relaxation mechanism. Trying to play games, computer games, whatever might be. The current hot favorite is Word and Sudoku, and of course, reading you've seen. I mean, I used to do a lot of reading. Right now, it's more uh, through e-readers or e-books, but reading was a big passion. I remember in my college days, I used to read 3 books a day. I used to spend almost about every single opportunity to be in the library. So I've read as many
Three
as
books a
books that
day. Wow.
3 books a day. So I used to study in Chandigarh, if you remember, and used to
Yes.
come to Delhi by train, and from Delhi to Chandigarh is to travel by bus. And my record was 3 books a trip. So just
Great.
that trip.
Wow. Impressive. Yeah. Okay.
Apart
All
from
right.
that, during
What?
my school, college days, dance, drama, all kind of curricular activities, extracurricular activities, I used to really spend a lot of time in doing all that. No time now for doing all this, but I still continue to sing a little bit, but not very active.
Yes.
But dance and drama, if you remember, during school days, I was there in every single program that was there in the school. Every single, except for the mono act which somebody else was performing, I was there in every single program of the school day. So
Yes.
uh, I now inspire other people to really do, and whenever there is any event here, just be an active watcher rather than a participant in that. But it has this my most relaxation. That's so if I need relaxation, listening to good songs is another relaxation for me, the biggest. And dance
Yeah.
actually gives you a lot of freedom. If you are too stressed, you dance for 15 minutes and you all the stress goes away.
It's true. True. Yes. Yes. We have to do it together sometime to relax.
Yeah.
So, tell me about your favorite food. Wow. It makes me hungry. All these pictures.
So I'm very fond of street food. A lot of people say that street food is not good for your health, this and that. I've tried to find the best places where you can find street food, which is hygienic as well as made very well. And Delhi is full of good street food. So from pani puri to pav bhaji to chole bhature, I have tried everything. I try
Yeah.
everything.
My mouth is watering. Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
whatever is the local cuisine, I love local cuisine. So wherever I go, I try out the local cuisine. But my favorite is the South Indian and the Gujarati food. So
Wow.
I've tried
Great.
almost all kinds of South Indian food. Some which are very rare kind of food that they eat. Also, I've tried out from my South Indian friends or whenever I go to South. And of
Yes.
course, Gujarati food is something that I got a opportunity to really kind of have some Gujarati friends like you. But
Yeah,
more
right.
importantly, I love the food, the dokla, especially the khakras, the papras, and all the kind of food. It's
Sure.
so easily available in Udaipur and in Delhi, so it
Hmm.
continues to be on my palate still. In terms of sweets, I like Bengali sweet, and my favorite is gujia. And I still remember the day that we sat down together to really make gujias at your house. so, so I learned how to make the gujias, and I tried it out, but can't really match the the kind of gujias that you get in the.
Yeah. Sure.
But in Delhi, you really get roasted gujias, and you get gujias which are non-sweet, so very little sweet. So I continue to
Yeah,
really
Delhi
miss
has
those.
a lot of variety. No,
Yeah.
definitely. All right. Let's move on to the next question. What are some of your favorite places? I see that you mentioned Udaipur. It's
So
so
Udaipur will
beautiful and
always be,
nature.
yeah, Udaipur will always be my favorite place. So wherever I am, in fact, I have been in Delhi now for more than 30 years, but I continue to really write my home place as Udaipur. I don't want to really take that tag away from my resume. So I love Fateh Sagar, and especially the walk from your house to the Fateh Sagar Pal is something which is so breathtaking. And if you go towards the Bari side, that's absolutely amazing. I love to sit there for hours if I had the. And every visit that I make sure that I spend. I actually take the car from the Pal side, so that I can get a glimpse. And while going back, also I take that route so that it remains the last memory of Udaipur when I leave Udaipur. The other
Yes.
place that I love, I liked very much, which I saw was the Chamba and the Khajiyar of Himachal. This is absolutely breathtaking. It's like Switzerland of India. It's very, very beautiful. Of course, you can't match Gulmarg in Kashmir, but you can't really go there because of all the kind of problems that you have. And now, even after the new regime, I don't think that it will be uh, for a while that you'll be able to go there.
Really?
But they are still
Yeah.
three of my most favorite places. So
I have to visit these someday. At least Chamba.
incidentally, I mean, since I am very avid tourist and foodie, so uh, I created. In fact, when I started my entrepreneurial journey, one of the first projects that I took up as a consultant was to consult with a travel show called Manjile Anjani, which literally translates to uh, uh, unknown destinations. So
Hmm.
and that gave me an opportunity to visit some of the unknown destinations in Rajasthan, in Himachal, in Uttarakhand, and some parts of UP. And as a result, I mean, I have touched upon some of the most breathtaking places which nobody had heard of. And this was a program that was aired on Doordarshan on Sundays, and this became a hallmark. And I did that because I started my entrepreneurial journey with creating the first online magazine called Indian Hospitality. And I took up this assignment just because that I wanted to have content for that, and it was too expensive to really go to each a location to shoot and do all that as a startup. So I worked very closely with
Sure.
this particular group, which was already having a program on air, and I improved the program greatly. It took no money except for content for free. So my
Yes.
deal with them was that 5 minutes of content and our tagline on every episode that's aired as a consultant to that project. Which
Yeah.
and So my byline was my email ID that I was giving there was the email ID of my magazine. So ultimately, I used to receive something close to about 20 to 30,000 mails per month from the 3 or 4 episodes every month. So,
Wow.
and considering
That's
that I'm
great.
talking about 1999, so it's a
It's a lot.
huge number. I mean, internet was just not in. I mean, internet actually became popular after 2000 in India.
Sure. Yep. So we have to visit. Is it still available, those recordings that you have?
So I have 1 or 2 recordings, but yes, Doordarshan must be having it. This should be there.
Sure, sure.
They keep showing old programs also. It's 20 years old now.
So, so Dolly, you've told me all what your favorite places are and what you like to do, but do you have any regrets in your life?
So the biggest regret that I have is that I cannot travel enough. I have a huge bucket list of what I want to, where I want to go, what are the kind of travel fantasies that I have in terms of. So in India, I got to really experience the Northeast. I did get a chance in one of my training programs that I was conducting to go to one of these states in Sikkim, but Andaman Lakshadweep is some place which I really want to visit, but I haven't been able to. I've been researching a lot on Indonesia and Philippines, and I'd like to go there and try to experience. So I'm very fond of experiencing cultures which are deeply influenced by Indian culture and establish what kind of commonality that we have. In fact, very it's it's very simple to really do to look at these commonalities in both the countries between India and especially the island nations are something that I would like to really see and visit, because that's something that we really don't get much of an experience in India.
Oh, definitely. Oh, sure. So, so what are the three things that you want to accomplish in your lifetime?
So I would definitely like to get some recognition for my work in women and youth. I mean, I have been working a lot, but so it's probably my fault that I've never really publicized it much. I haven't really done some deep rooted this thing which people can see so glaringly. I've worked behind the scene and I've shaped a lot of people. A lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of students that I've helped them really discover what they are good at, what their aptitudes are, and how they should really go about in their lives. And I've seen them successfully really morph into some very, very successful people over the years. Uh, but till date, I don't remember winning any recognition for that. So that's always something that I would like to accomplish in my lifetime. Uh,
Totally, totally understand that. Yeah,
and
you
so
deserve it.
yeah.
Dolly, we were talking about what are the three things you want to still accomplish in your lifetime. And you were talking about win recognitions for my work with women and youth. Can you elaborate some more on that?
Yeah, I've been working with women and youth for almost about 10 years now, and it's more like a mission now to accomplish about 1 lakh women and youth if I can impact. And some of them have to be now very very focused, because I've already achieved something close to about 79,000, and maybe this weekend it would be really touching 80,000. But and now the next 20,000 that I want to do is purely focused on really transforming the lives of these women and youth, and it should have a transformational effect to of a great magnitude. So that's something that I want to accomplish in the next 2 or 3 years of my life, and this is one unaccomplished mission. But more importantly, I want to also impact the service delivery. So I'd like to really, in my lifetime, create a services framework in which we can deliver services digitally to transform various activities. And you can see what we're doing today is something where we are using technology to enable a simple thing like the chat, but this can be shared across multiple platforms. Uh, and distributed to a lot of people to amplify the voice. And this is what we need to do for services, for improving the service. What you're doing in telemedicine, you yourself are working on impacting a whole lot of people while sitting in India, supporting the hospitals in US. And this actually brings a lot of transformational value, and that has been the focus of my work for the last so many years. But now I want to really kind of do it much more deeper, much more this thing, so that before I retire, I like to really see this happen, to really achieve about 1 lakh and at least some 100 odd services that we can actually create a framework that these are the steps that you need to do, and how do we really accomplish the digital transformation journey for the organizations. So these are the major areas that I would like to accomplish, at least in this lifetime.
Okay, awesome. All right. Moving on to the next question. All right. Do you have any regrets in life, Dolly? I know you want to achieve a lot, but is there anything that you feel that you regret?
I regret that I never learned computer programming. So because that's one impediment that I have, because whatever I want to accomplish, I need to really be very, very dependent on people who have to deliver the actual results, and it doesn't get delivered. So sometimes it doesn't get delivered, sometimes I'm able to really steer it if I have the necessary other resources in terms of really getting some expensive resources, or getting some really cool people to work with. But uh, I regret that if I had learned a little bit of programming, a little bit of this thing, I would be able to really at least get down to the prototype level, and be able to really create the framework. Yeah, because digital transformation needs a lot of prototyping and testing it on ground, and nobody pays for testing. Nobody pays for research in India. Nobody pays for this thing, and this is one big regret that I have. I've never been trained as a researcher, never been trained as a programmer. So I find sometimes it's very difficult to really do that without a very well defined project, which is supported by either some company or by some organization. So I have to depend on a lot of on other people to really complete the activity. So that's one major regret.
Sure. I hear you. I hear you. So tell me what message you have for younger generation. I just heard that you'll be retiring in the
So
coming years. Obviously,
I'm
we
in
all
the
will be.
retiring age
But
now. So I'm
what
1 year.
sort of message you have for the younger generation?
So I would like to really make sure that that's one simple message that people have to really think big. They have to inspire to really do whatever they have to create a goal for themselves and work towards executing that, make sure that they accomplish it within the kind of time frame. I remember when I set up my company, a lot of people told me, "Why are you really setting up a consultancy organization?" I said, "I mean, I want to really bring in some change in the way the world works, and I can't do it by creating a small organization. Which is so the only way that I can do it is whatever knowledge that I've acquired, I use that to really help others to really do that." And slowly, steadily inch towards the through various projects, and that's the framework that I'm now building, which is Smart Edge, which is where I intend to really create a platform in which we can enable digital transformation by proper methodology. So I'm going to launch this weekend. So this is where, and I still don't have the services framework, but yes, I do have a lot of building blocks in that framework, and tried it, tested it across multiple projects, and that is what I want to really share with others, students, and the other people. Uh, uh, you have to uh, do things in a project mode. Don't really jump at doing too many things at a time, but pick up one or two problems that are very close to your heart, for which you try and prepare yourself, learn what you don't know. Whatever you know, you practice it, and you try to really find who are the other people who can help you accomplish that, and then go all about it to really achieve success. And success is going to be there if you do all the steps right. There is no dearth of success that you are going to achieve. So uh, that's the thing that you have to really kind of, and I have tried that out with many young students, with many women, with many businesses, that if you take a very structured approach and a proper deep dive into the problem that you're trying to solve, you can accomplish much more than what you can do otherwise.
Okay, great. So stay focused and keep your goals, uh, and try to work with that. Okay,
More
great, Dolly.
importantly, it is
Thank you
that
so
you have
much.
to identify the right problem that you want to solve. Sometimes we try to really run around trying to solve problems which are not problems, which are only part of the problem. And that's why you really don't get transformational results. You have to identify what is the real root of the problem, which means that you need to research the problem very well, understand what are the stakeholders, how do you get into the entire activity, really get deeply involved. So until and unless you really have your complete focus on that, you will not be in
Yeah.
a position to deliver.
Okay. All right. Awesome, Dolly. Okay. Well, I guess that's the end of the questions. And I thank you and wish you a very happy birthday. And thanks for taking the time to do this with me.
My pleasure,
Bye.
Ritu, and thank you so much for taking out time from your busy schedule. I know that this was a very difficult time for you with your busy schedule for handling all your COVID patients across the globe. I really salute to you to kind of. It has been a real great honor for me to really share some of my story with you, and as I said, that I've always kept behind the this thing. It's wonderful to really have a friend to chat with you and uh, take out some of these things which I never really share with many people. So thank you so much.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Welcome. Always a pleasure. Okay. Take
Okay,
care.
bye.